Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Monday, March 18th, 2024. This is my pre-market report. People, let's start off with this. So yesterday, I did a video with, Bloodbath in the title here. And there seems to be a heck of a lot of misinformation, confusion. Just read the comments here. The indoctrination process is complete. People cannot think at all. All right, let's talk about this. If you don't realize right now that we are already in the midst of an economic bloodbath, then you don't know what you're looking at. This whole thing has gone crazy across YouTube and the mainstream media, what Trump said or didn't say. Look, the man is 100% right, in case you don't know. And this has, some of you believe that he's just referring to the auto industry becoming a bloodbath. We're in a bloodbath of epic proportions right now. We have a state of affairs here in the United States and pretty much around the world that we have never seen before. We have manufacturing and factory activity contracting at its fastest pace ever in history. Business investment gone. It's just not there anymore. Every single leading economic indicator is negative and going deeper into the negative. So for those of you out here that believe, it's laughable, that President Trump was talking about just the auto industry becoming a bloodbath, you gotta be kidding me. If you don't see what is being set up right now, you are gone, far gone, and way far beyond the sun here. You just, there's no way to snap you out of it. I see that. Look, this thing that we are in right now, this is unlike anything we've ever seen before. They are clearly, the people that control the world, is a handful of people, in case you don't know here. And this is playing out exactly as they have planned it out, and how, as we have outlined right here on this blog numerous times. What do they want? Control. How are they going to get it? By extorting it from the people, by causing social unrest on a massive scale. Look, we're clearly, after reading the comments from yesterday from the indoctrinated here that believe that, I don't know, some people walk on water here, they're setting up a civil war. And I believe this is going to take place probably, at the presidential selection here. There's not going to be an election. Wake up, people. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this is just too stupid. Are you some of those people out here that believe that the election was stolen, that they can't do it again? Duh, really? That's what's being set up here, people. We have no voice, man. Wake up. It's just too funny. I mean, just the auto industry is going to be a bloodbath. It's just going to be the auto industry. You got to be kidding me, people. That's not what he was referring to anyway. This whole thing is going to be a bloodbath on a massive scale. And he's 100% right. He knows what's going on here. He's playing his role just like he's been doing. This whole thing is a puppet show, okay? Nothing is real. And when you wake up, there's no difference between paying attention to what's happening here with each person here playing their role than if you were seeing a movie here. It's not real. This whole thing is designed to, again, steal our liberties and freedoms, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. Again, they are hoping for and planning for, okay, bloodbath, okay. He's referring to what's going to happen is civil war, and we're already in the midst of it right now. We have hatred among the left wing and the right wing, more so than we've ever seen in history. We haven't seen anything like this before, and it's being played up. Anyway, look, people, it's just too much here. You got to pay attention to what's going on, and it doesn't seem like many of you are. You're just so quick to defend something that you believe is actually going on, which it isn't here. You gotta understand what you're actually looking at, what you're hearing, what you're seeing. You're not getting it, and you can't get it because you've been so blinded. Anyway, with that said, let's talk about how this whole thing is being set up. Now, you and I have discussed multiple times, and many of you still think I'm wrong here, but I am not wrong with regard to what the central banks are planning and what they're doing here. They're the government. Once you understand that, they make the rules. Everybody else, we just unfortunately have to live under their rulership, and they are really, they got us all. So anyway, CNBC headline here. Fed and other banks to make major progress on rates this year. The Bank of International Settlements, the so-called central bank of central banks. The Federal Reserve and European Central Bank look poised to make major progress this year in cutting rates. According to the BIS. If everything goes fine, and of course it's going to go their way, I think that certainly, this is the head of the BIS, certainly this year we will see major progress, especially towards the end of the year. What have you and I been discussing? June is when they're going to start cutting rates. Again, they got the economy by the throat. Don't listen to me. Listen to President Trump. It's a bloodbath. It's already a bloodbath. It's going to get a lot worse. And it has nothing to do with just one industry. Just one industry. Can it be a bloodbath? Can't make it up. Again, my hat goes off to you, the indoctrinated. Anyway, I can't wake these people up. It's impossible to do. Anyway, so look, they got the economy by the throat. The consumer's done. The economy is cratering. And that's where it's going here. And you're going to get sucked down with it. Anyway, let us move forward just for a moment here. So I wrote this yesterday. This piece is in your inbox if you subscribe to my free newsletter. I want you to pay attention to this. And we're going to go through this. And hopefully it will, I doubt it, wake some of you up. All right, markets, the next phase. And there is going to be a next phase and a great fall. And I am not referring to the stock market here. Here we go. Does this sound familiar to you real quick? As the economy free falls faster, the higher will go the stock market. That should sound familiar to you because that's what I said last year. I made that statement last year. And despite the continuing round after round of rapidly worsening economic news, it's a bloodbath, the stock market has made a series of new record highs in 24. Does that surprise you? No, because we said this would happen at the end of last year on top of waves and waves and waves of corporate layoffs. Everything we said, it's happening right now. Even the widely publicized insiders dumping billions in stocks, pretty much common knowledge now, has failed to stop the stock market from making new highs. On the same page so far? All right. Inflation remains at center stage and is continuing to rise, despite the so-called central bank's effort to stop it. Listen to this part. In reality, okay, central banks, none more so than the Federal Reserve, have never taken any real action whatsoever to actually contain, I use that word on purpose, inflation. Here again, we the people of the United States have been sold yet another complete falsehood that somehow the Federal Reserve, by incrementally raising the federal funds rate, would cause inflation to magically disappear. Oh, yes, it was temporary and transitory. How about no? From day one, you and I called this out as a big, fat, ugly lie. That sound familiar to you? On this blog, saying that the Fed, again, by incrementally raising the federal funds, it would never work. Moreover, as we have already covered when this whole thing started, it was never even meant to work, people. This is destruction. This is a bloodbath that is being created here. Listen to what the man said, because he's right. And again, it's just not the auto industry, people. It's a bloodbath on a grand scale. So I hope you wake up. Probably won't. All right, anyway. A central bank's power resides in only one thing. You know that, and that's its ability to inflate. That's why they're going to be cutting rates. Okay? It allows them to inflate on an even greater scale, despite the fact that we're funding wars and everything else, and expanding war, which generates more cash for the military-industrial complex than any other endeavor on earth. Bloodbath yet again. Anyway, central banks are playing a terrible game. Systematically, deliberately, and collectively, they're on a mission to destroy the world economy, bloodbath, only to issue in a new system of maximum control. Understanding that any central bank's power resides in just one thing, and that's its ability to inflate. These crime syndicates of the highest possible order, okay, are looking ahead, planning to engineer another mechanism, a bloodbath, which will allow them to inflate even more, which in turn will further distort asset prices and devalue the purchasing power of the currency. Wake up to reality. Enter the next phase. Despite the rhetoric about the Federal Reserve being so-called data dependent, which is a joke, also of the highest order, regarding the economy and inflation, the reality is this. The Federal Reserve is on a fixed path. They have been on a fixed path here. A fixed path of destruction. Okay, and cutting rates moving forward is part of that mechanism. Cutting rates allows the central bank, the Fed in this case, to create vast amounts of cash out of thin air. Cash which will then be used to buy debt. When a central bank cuts rates, it can't just say they're going to cut rates and by decree it happens. No, they have to get in here and make it happen. It doesn't happen by decree. We're almost done. Cutting rates, and I am forecasting this will begin in June. Don't take my word for it. Maybe you should listen to the BIS. Okay. Will put a boost under the stock market. Cutting rates will also have a negative effect on the purchasing power of the currency. Real inflation will continue to rise. Can I get a duh? Or maybe two here. Duh. Three. I expect that both the Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank are going to act first here. And they will be cutting rates in lockstep moving forward. Now, pay attention to this last part, talking about bloodbath, okay? What is also being engineered right now is a mechanism to create mass social unrest. I expect this to happen at the presidential selection. I said this before the bloodbath comment out of Trump's mouth, however he made it, and however you want to take it, okay? Because, you know, that's just the way it is. A violent uprising is the most likely scenario. It's what they want, and it's what's being engineered, and we create an excuse to steal away more of our freedoms and liberties. We, the people, are being set up for a great fall. If you can't see this, people, then you're completely lost, and maybe you should unsubscribe here. Because the truth is, you don't belong here. This is for a channel for people who get it, who understand what's happening, and are looking to capitalize on it too, in every way possible, okay? Nothing's going to get by me, which means it ain't going to get by you either. But if you are part of the indoctrinated, and there's a lot of you out here, there is no hope for you. I'm telling you right now. And it's a shame. It really, really is. All right, look, this guy here, I think I covered what I wanted to. With regard to the market, okay, nothing really going on this morning. How about that? 10-year yield sitting there stable, 4.3 on the 10-year yield. Dollar slightly negative. This market's going up. This market is going to continue to go higher. Are we going to get a pullback? I'd like to see that. Are we going to get a correction? I'd like to see that too. But the promise of easy money here. Okay, rate cuts coming forward here. Where do you think this is going to go, people? Look, this guy here loves you a lot from the heart. And I mean that. And I really hope that you wake the freak up as to what's happening. And you can't, most people who follow this blog are free thinkers. Free thought, free action, free movement. That's what it's all about. But they have got people right where they want them. It's an incredible thing to see. And, of course, what else would you expect with this kind of environment we're in? It's incredible. It really is. All right, look, love you a lot. I'll see you later. 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern for my live stream. I really hope to see you there. It's going to be just freaking lovely. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.